Now, today I have brought in a little bit of show and tell for the class. Oh, I,
Sorry,
I
my
thought
cat is going nuts at the door.
I thought you
I
were
had to
literally
interrupt.
just gonna leave. Um, I, of course, in my quest, my ever burning quest to understand a story,
Mhm.
have recently watched one of the greatest movies that has ever
Films,
been
one of the greatest
filmed.
films.
You're right; it is not a movie; it is a film. It is one of the greatest pieces of art that has ever been made, and I am here to literally share with you the plot of the 1982 classic American horror movie film Halloween 3: The Season of the Witch.
Great, great.
Now, some of you might be thinking, why are you going to recap a Halloween movie on June 1st? And to you, I say, it's the season of the witch. That's all year round.
Yep. Season of the Witch is 12 months long.
Just 12 months long, and I'm here for it. All right. As
Oh
I
yeah, it should have been Mad Max Fury Road. You're right, FedDM. That's
well, I could also do that. There's not a ton of stuff. Well, I could just be like, and this sick stunt happened.
this guy has this guitar
Could
and
have seen this stunt. Okay. Halloween 3: Season of the Witch.
Mhm. And I've never seen it for the record, so Matt is gonna
Yep.
explain it to me.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask some questions, and we're gonna really get into the nitty gritty. And again, if you have any questions in the chat about Halloween Season of the Witch, feel free to ask them, and I will ask them to
Hmm.
Matt.
Now, of course, Halloween 3 is the third movie in the Halloween franchise. The first two movies feature a little guy called Michael Myers who
Yep.
is going around killing people.
And if you haven't seen those two movies, we're not going to recap them.
Yep.
You're going to have to watch them on
Yes.
your own.
And frankly, those have nothing to do with this movie. Now, we start the opening credits. Some eerie synth music. John Carpenter did the music but did not direct this movie.
Hmm.
As we
I
see,
like how he's like, I'll do the music,
yeah,
but that's it. I'm
I don't
not.
think he wants
I'm
any
not
part
doing
of
it.
this, and I
Yeah.
don't blame him. As we see the credits go, we see a zoomed in close up of a tube TV computer screen, and there are little orange pixels that are fluctuating. And as the credits finish, we zoom out to see a crudely drawn picture of a pumpkin on a tube television screen.
Wow.
Just nothing,
Already, I'm scared.
nothing scarier than that. We cut to a nighttime shots. It says a little text on the screen says Northern California, October 23rd. Why that date? Who knows? We see an older man is running away from something. He's running through the street. He keeps looking back. Something is chasing him. We see the headlights of a car begin to follow him, but we can't see who's in the car. He goes into a little like auto shop, and he starts banging on the door, screaming for help. He can't get away, and then suddenly jump scare. A clean shaven white guy in a suit
It's terrifying.
comes
I'm
out.
scared.
He kind of looks like a finance bro, I would say.
Yeah.
He's just like a generic finance bro, and he's
How
emotion.
tall? That's a good
He's
question.
like
How tall is
he's probably a good 6 foot, I would say,
he? Mm.
but he's completely emotionless, no expression on his face, and he grabs the old man who is running and starts to choke him out on the ground. And as the old man is thrashing around trying to free himself, he manages to knock a car off some bricks nearby, which squishes the finance bro.
Wait,
And there's
like a how did like he throws a car?
no, there is a car like up on bricks nearby, and he like
Okay.
unleashes it. It doesn't really make any sense.
And
And
also, how tall is the car? Question from the chat. I forgot.
tall, I'd
Yeah,
say 4 feet.
4 feet. Okay, that's
Just a
that seems about car
classic
height.
car. As the finance bro gets smushed, the old man runs away, but we see there are other finance bros in a clean suits and clean shaven watching from the shadows. We cut to there's a text on the screen that says 1 hour later. Um, Absolutely did not need that to be shown up on the movie 1 hour later, but we see that we have shifted to a gas station, and there is a kindly old man in this gas station. He's watching the television.
Do you remember what the gas prices were?
Um, were we at war with Iran in 1982?
Was the Strait of Hormuz closed?
I don't think they showed the gas prices, but I could be
Okay.
wrong. But I would assume that they're very high,
Yeah.
especially in Northern California, which of course is where we are. This man in the gas station is watching TV, and on the television, a commercial comes on, and this commercial has a bunch of kids' heads dancing in total darkness, and then you see them putting on Halloween masks. One Halloween mask is a witch, green witch. One is a skeleton, and one is a pumpkin head. And there's a jingle, like a sung jingle that's happening that goes something like, 8 more days for Halloween, 8 more days to Halloween, 8 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Silver Shamrock.
And you see there's a picture of a shamrock and it says Shamrock, Silver Shamrock Novelties. And in the commercial, someone says, please, everyone come and buy our 3 masks before Halloween and get them in time for the big giveaway. And it says that on the screen, and this man in the gas station is watching this. And then suddenly, the older man from before who was being chased comes into the gas station, and all exasperated, he says, "They're coming. They're coming." And the gas station man looks afraid and drives him to the hospital. Now,
Okay.
we cut to our hero, our main character, a man named Dan, who is played by the character actor Tom Atkins. He is a middle-aged man with a big old mustache.
Okay. A question from FemDM: Is
Yeah.
this movie real? Is this a real movie?
This is a real movie that was released. I have watched it 5 times.
Okay.
This man, Dan, as we will know, he is, of course, the main character. He is clearly a little bit drunk, and he's driving. He's the hero of this movie. He's driving his car, and he parks it outside, and he has a bag, and he walks inside this house, and he says, "Kids, kids!" And a couple kids come running, and they hug him. He's, "Dad, Dad!" And as he's embracing them, a woman walks in that we soon learn is his ex-wife, and her arms are crossed in a scowl. And she says, "You've come at a bad time. You're always late." And he sighs, and he says,
Really sets the character who
Yeah.
Dan is. Real
yeah.
shitbag.
Now, his ex-wife, of course, is played by the same actress who played Annie in the first Halloween movie, who is one of the high school kids, which was made 4 years earlier than this. In those 4 years, she went from playing a high school kid to a nagging ex-wife
a
with 3
jaded
kids.
ex-wife. Yeah.
Just her character is just a terribly written character, and I feel bad for her. I just want to say that. Now, of course, Dan comes to his kids and he says, "I have presents for you," and he takes out of his bag a couple of
Presents?
masks.
I thought this was a Halloween movie.
Well, he got him presents for Halloween. And the kids take out the masks and they look dejected and they say, "But Dad, Mom already gave us really scary masks, Silver Shamrock masks." And at that time, the Silver Shamrock commercial plays again on the television screen and the same jingle happens. 8 more days to Halloween. Now, this commercial plays, I'm going to say 20 times throughout the movie, I would say. And as it's all to the tune of London Bridge is falling down. 8 more days.
How
to
long is the movie?
80 or 90 minutes probably.
90 minutes. Okay.
As the kids are watching this commercial, Dan gets a call and he says, "Oh, I gotta go to work." And his ex-wife says, "You're just a drunk doctor."
He's a doctor?
He's a doctor. He drives to work, and when he gets to work, he sees that the old man from the beginning who has been chased has been admitted to the hospital. And this man is crazy, and he keeps saying, "They're coming to kill me. They're coming to kill me." So they drug him up with a ton of drugs, so he passes out. And in his pocket, the only thing on him is a pumpkin mask from Silver Shamrock Novelties.
Whoa. The ones that his kids just got.
Yes, crazy. So, of course,
Now, is Michael Myers in this movie?
well,
Maybe don't spoil it, but I'm beginning to doubt that Michael Myers is going to show up.
well, I think that a lot of people who are watching this movie in 1982 are probably having a similar thought at this point in the movie.
How far are we into the movie at this point?
10 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Now, as Dan is at the hospital as a doctor, he starts to uncomfortably flirt with the head nurse in a way that I didn't really like. He puts his arm around her and he says, "You want to take a nap with me in the break room?"
Gross.
And she says, "Haha, that's so funny." Um,
Does HR at any point step in?
no HR in this movie, and
Okay.
well, let me tell you, there needs to be some.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the hospital room, the old man is asleep on drugs, and a finance bro walks in, clean shaven, expressionless.
This should have just been called Halloween semicolon finance.
I mean,
bros.
kind of. And this man walks over to the hospitalized man, and he grabs the bridge of his nose and like pulls it out of his head. It's a pretty
Wait,
good. It's a pretty
wait,
good effect.
wait.
It's hard to explain.
He pulls his he does gotcha nose, but for real.
Yeah, well, basically, yes. Just pulls his nose with like superhuman strength and then casually like wipes off some blood on the curtain. The nurse sees him there and he just kind of casually walks out of the hospital. Dan,
Does he say got your nose?
he doesn't say a single word.
Missed opportunity.
So eerie. Dan runs after him into the parking lot saying, "Hey, you," which is, of
You
course,
can't just steal people's noses.
that's what you would say if someone came into the hospital and did that. And the finance bro gets into his car and solemnly, expressionlessly takes a can of gasoline and pours it all over himself and then lights a match and blows himself up.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, honestly, maybe the best part of the movie. Now we cut to we're in the morgue and Dan and the doctor are sitting there with the dead man on the stretcher who has had his nose taken, who we know to
we
be.
do have 10 minutes left in the show. I just want to warn you
Yeah,
for
I
pacing.
gotcha.
Okay.
We see that this man is Mr. Grimbridge, who is a toy shop owner from nearby who has been killed. And in walks Ellie Grimbridge, this man's daughter, who's
Okay.
early 20s maybe, and she identifies him, and Dan consoles Ellie after the death of her father. And then we cut to Friday the 29th, like 5 days later. Dan is sitting at a bar drinking. He's an alcoholic.
Of course.
He just drinks a lot.
Just got out of surgery, or probably just before
Yeah,
going. into
probably
surgery.
just before surgery. He's sitting at the bar watching television, and on the television is the movie Halloween. He's watching Jamie Lee Curtis on the
Oh
screen.
my God, no, it's not.
Is that
That's the
allowed to
dumbest
do?
thing.
Are you allowed to do that in a sequel? Who knows? They did it. And then
So this movie takes place in a universe where Halloween exists.
Yep. It's really screws up the timelines of the movies, but it's okay. After the movie, you see 3 more days to Halloween, the same Silver Shamrock commercial. And in walks to the bar Ellie, the daughter of the man who died. And she says, "I needed to find you. The nurses told me that I would find you here at the bar." Just like, this guy's an degenerate alcoholic.
Yeah.
And Dan goes, "You're right. You know what? I was thinking about the mask that your dad had, and I think we should go and try to solve his murder." And they both agree and they team up. They go to her dad's shop and they find out that he disappeared after he went to the town of Santa Mira in California, which is a small town which has the factory of the Silver Shamrock novelties.
Oh,
So they
okay.
drive together to the town, and when they get there, you can see everyone is staring at them throughout the windows. The surveillance camera is tracking their movement. They get to a motel, and Dan has the brilliant idea to pretend like they're married so that they can get a room at the motel and not be
Because you have
suspicious.
to be married to
Yeah.
have a room at a hotel. You know,
Yes,
everybody knows
yes,
that.
yes. He puts his arm around her, and she goes, "Oh, okay, we're pretending to be married."
He's got a real thing about putting his arm around people.
Yes, she does. And as they see Ellie's dad's name on the guest list of the motel, so they know they're in the right place. They meet a couple other people staying at the motel. There's a family called the Kupfers. There's like a dad with a weird bucket hat, and the mom's like in curlers, and they have a rambunctious son, red-haired son, who's like running around. And they're like, "Hey, we came here to tour the factory and get some more
Classic
masks."
tourist look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another woman there who's she's mad because she ordered the mask, but they didn't send it to her. So she came to the factory itself to demand that she gets it,
As you do.
of course. And then
Well, this is back when things were made in America. You know?
yes,
That's what-
yeah, of course. Now, of course, this town, Santa Mira, is an all-Irish town.
Of course.
There's-
Santa Mira, the Irish town.
There is, they stay at Rafferty's. There's a place called like the Irish bar and like called the Irish shop. It's just everyone's Irish. Later that night, there's a over the loudspeaker a curfew at 6 p.m. And Dan is like, what? And he's like walking around and he gets stumbled into by a homeless man who's crazy. And
Who's Michael Myers?
Nope.
No.
And this homeless man goes, you won't believe it. The factory that's making these masks, there's something evil going on there. The leader, Connell Cochran, is this Irish man who settled here with his Irish roots many years ago, and he has turned it into this mask factory that's really successful, but what he's doing there is evil. And Dan's like, okay, dude. And he leaves. And when the homeless guy's alone, a couple of finance bros come in and kill him. Now, as Dan comes back into his motel, he's sitting there with Ellie. Of course, they had just met. And he says, do you think I should go and get another room? And she says, no. Where do you want to sleep tonight? And he says, Ellie, that's a dumb question. And he goes over and kisses her.
Okay. All right.
Meanwhile,
is she like into it?
Yes. Why she's into it? Who
Why?
knows? He is more than double her age. Now, meanwhile, the lady from the beginning is in her own room, and she sees that one of her masks has a little button that says Silver Shamrock, and on the back of the button is a computer chip. And she does what any person would do. She takes,
this is the 80s. Everything has a computer chip.
She takes out a bobby pin from her hair and starts to pluck it at the computer chip. Right. And it explodes and shoots a giant laser beam of blue into her mouth. Meanwhile, we cut back to Dan and Ellie having in the middle of sex. And Ellie goes, what was that? And Dan says, don't worry about it.
I think it was a microchip that just exploded.
And then we cut back and we see this woman is dead and her mouth has been exploded out from the laser and a single bug crawls out of it.
Okay.
The next
and that bug is Michael Myers?
Nope. Okay. I think at this point people are like, I don't think Michael Myers is going to be in this movie. And then the next day they go on a tour of the factory. They see the Kupfer family again, and they tour around and they see how the masks are made, but they see that Ellie sees her dad's car is parked in the back. She tries to go get it, but a bunch of other finance bros who are just sitting there and stop her.
A gaggle of finance bros.
And she's like, I think my dad is there. I have to go get the car. And they decide just to go back, and they'll go the next day. In the night, though, Dan is out looking around, but when he comes back to his room, Ellie is gone. He looks out the window and he sees a bunch of finance bros standing in a line. So he jumps out the back window and runs into the factory. And as he's running into the factory, he sees a woman knitting. She's like in the front area of the factory. She's knitting.
Does he put his arm around her?
Well, he says, "Where's the woman?" And she doesn't say anything. And he shakes her head. "Where's the woman?" And her head falls off, and we see that she is a robot.
Gotcha. A robot.
She is a robot.
Okay.
And a couple finance bros come after him, and they have a fight in the factory warehouse, and he starts punching one.
I thought of a better idea for a group of finance bros. I'm going to call them a quota of finance bros.
Perfect. There's a quota of finance bros fighting him in the warehouse. One of them, he punches in the stomach, and he pulls out wires. And he sees that the finance bros are also robots.
Finance robots.
And suddenly you see Connell Cochran, the leader, a very just comically evil man who comes up and says, what you have done here is not right. You have destroyed one of my oldest robots from 1795.
What?
The guy's made a robot in the 1700s. And he takes Dan and holds him hostage. And the next day he says, it's Halloween. It's going to be my big day. And he takes Dan on a tour of the factory. And in the factory, we see
Michael Myers.
All of the masks being made. And in this big room, there's a bunch of scientists. And they're all around a giant piece of rock. And Connell Cochran says, what we're doing here is we're combining ancients and modern technology to bring back the ancient sacrificial rite of the Halloween tradition of Samhain.
Who
And
has Sam Hain been mentioned
nope.
at any point? Okay,
And
so they're just bringing it. Okay,
he points to the rock and he says Stonehenge. And he says we took a part of Stonehenge. How we got this here, that's a different story. Never explains it. They're chipping off pieces of Stonehenge and placing it into the computer chips of these masks. And he says to him, now he ties Dan up in a chair and forces him to watch the commercial again. And he says, now what we need to do here is to sacrifice children for this ancient Celtic ritual, because no one is celebrating.
Celtic. Isn't it Celtic?
It is
Thank
Celtic.
you. I don't want to offend any Irish people out there.
Well, this movie does a lot to offend Irish people. No one is celebrating Halloween correctly, and we have to sacrifice the only people we know how to.
So the way to celebrate Halloween correctly is by killing children, because I've been celebrating it wrong.
That's what old Connell Cochran says, and we see the Kupfer.
So this is kind of like Sinners pre-Sinners.
Yes, correct. Yeah. We see Connell Cochran has put on TV the Kupfer family, they've taken them into a room in the factory that kind of looks like a living room, and the kid puts on his pumpkin mask and sits in front of the TV, and the Silver Shamrocks commercial plays, and then suddenly he starts to shake, his head starts to shake, and we see that his pumpkin mask begins to like burn and boil, and then the kid falls to the ground, and when he's on the ground, through the hole in the mask, I'd say 500 bugs crawl out, big roaches. And then
I was going to ask what kind of bugs.
And then a giant rattlesnake crawls out of the mask.
Yep. I was going to say, does a rattlesnake crawl out? That was going to be my question.
And then the dad goes, ah! And the rattlesnake bites his leg and he falls down and dies.
Okay. And the rattlesnake is Michael Myers.
The rattlesnake is not Michael Myers. Now,
Out for a Walk B wants to know are there too many plots or just enough? How many plots?
I would say there's way too much stuff happening in this movie. It's insane, absolutely insane. Dan sees this and he's perturbed. You're gonna kill the kids by having them put on the mask and watch the television commercial, and then bugs crawl out of their mask and a snake does. What a plan. So he's strapped down and he's forced to watch the commercial, but he's able to escape by, I don't know, they forget to put a guard next to where he's seated. He runs out and he goes around and he finds Ellie, who has been strapped to a table in another room. He frees her and they go into the main room, and there's a bunch of these finance robots around. And he has to fight off a bunch of them, but he sees a box full of these pins that have the computer chips. So he has a great idea. He takes the box up to the rafters at the top of this warehouse, and he dumps them down all on top of the computers. And there's this big spark of electricity and lightning, and this blue laser shoots out and kills all of the robots. And we see Connell Cochran looking at him, and Connell Cochran nods and does a sarcastic clap as he is disintegrated from a beam of laser that shoots out from Stonehenge.
So he gets disintegrated as sarcastic, he's sarcastic clapping?
Correct.
I like that he knows he's going to die, and he's like, how do you want to go out?
Correct.
Sarcastic clapping.
Dan and Ellie escape just as the entire factory explodes in flame. Mm-hmm. And they get in the car and they're driving down the road, and Dan's like, we have to do something. We have to tell someone. What do you think? And he turns to Ellie, and Ellie is expressionless. And then she reaches over to start to choke him. And as he's choking him, he loses control of his car, which smashes into a tree. Right. And you see that her arm has been ripped off in the crash. She is a robot too.
Oh no.
And he gets out and she starts to fight him with one arm, and he takes off her head.
She's a little kid?
Tire arm.
There's just the adult woman.
This is the adult woman. She's 21. They had sex earlier.
Yeah,
I think she became a robot in the 30 minutes that she was tied up on the table. Who knows?
Gotcha. It's pretty quick to become a robot.
Yeah.
I've almost had to have it a couple times.
He kills her, and he's like, wow, that was crazy. He gets back. He can't get back in his car because it's crashed. So he runs and he gets back to the same gas station that happened at the beginning of the movie. And as he's sitting there, he's telling the guy, there's going to be a commercial on the TV that's for Silver Shamrocks, and we can't let any of the kids watch it because they'll all die. And the gas station attendant's like, huh?
What is the gas station? What are they supposed to do? They're a gas station.
Great question. So he turns on the TV and the Silver Shamrock commercial's playing. So Dan gets on his phone and calls, I don't know, the news channel, and he says, "You need to take down this commercial immediately."
So, and I mean, in this time, there's no way to look up numbers, so he just knows the number.
Just knows the number. He calls the TV channel. You gotta turn off this channel. People are gonna die. And you see on the TV it says broadcast has been discontinued. But then the gas station attendant turns to the next channel. The same commercial is still playing. Dan still on the phone says, "But now channel 2 is still playing it. Please, 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 you have to stop this commercial."
So he's got to call every channel? Is that what it is?
I think the person he called is in charge of all the channels. Okay. And we see the second channel, the commercial has stopped playing, but then the gas station attendant goes to the third one. And this one continues to play. We see Dan is now frantic. "Stop it! Stop the commercial! Stop it! Stop it!" He's yelling into the phone, and he looks directly at the camera. And the commercial does not stop. Cut to black. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. That's the end of the movie? Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
And Michael Myers never shows up.
Michael Myers, not a part of this movie.
But now, he is on TV at one point.
He is actually in the movie, technically, yes. Now, I think this movie can tell us a lot about story.
Yeah, I think that tells us what not to do. We should make the opposite of this movie.
Yeah. Just a quick recap.
Yeah, if MDM wants to, was there a witch in this movie? There was no witches.
There's no witch, but there is a witch mask that some of the kids do wear.
So there's no witch and there's no Michael Myers, and they named it Halloween Season of the Witch.
Now, Conal Cochran does mention that his plan to sacrifice kids is a plan to bring back ancient witchcraft. How,
okay,
why,
I guess,
how
sure.
or why?
I mean, Stonehenge, pieces of Stonehenge.
Yes.
Have enough power to have a blue laser that can explode people.
Now, to recap Conal Cochran's plan here, his plan was he wants to sacrifice a bunch of kids to bring back the true meaning of Halloween. So his plan was that he is going to steal a part of Stonehenge, bring it to California, chip off pieces of Stonehenge to implant in Halloween mask, start up a company, a Halloween mask company that is so ubiquitously popular. There's a montage in the movie of kids from all around the world
naming it after a shamrock, which is
nothing to do with Halloween.
Nothing to do with Halloween.
It's an incredibly popular Halloween mask, so that on Halloween all the kids can put it on, and he's gonna all turn their heads into snakes and bugs. That's his plan. Right. It didn't work. Well, we don't know if it worked because there was a cliffhanger at the end.
That's true. There was the next Halloween movie. Have they ever mentioned anything that happens in this movie in any of the other 15 Halloween movies?
Halloween 4, they were like, hey, everyone hated Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Michael Myers is back, baby. Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 4.